I am mining blocks and things because now I am in Minecraft. Hello everyone, wherever you are, this is Flex, and I just wanted to touch base, make a little video on the Minecraft movie, which I saw with some friends yesterday. I know that there's a lot of reviews for the Minecraft movie that have been out that are kind of indicating that maybe it's a little bit of a brain dead movie, it's not worth your time, but I actually really enjoyed my time with it. What you gotta realize about me is that I was actually one of the OGs, one of the first Minecraft players of all time. I forget how old I was, but you know, I was a teenager, a young teenager, and I was on early YouTube and I saw one of the development diaries of Notch, the original creator of Minecraft. It was linked from like another YouTuber who said, "Hey, look at this block game. It looks kind of cool, kind of interesting, kind of like Dwarf Fortress or whatever." And I would just follow along with this guy's development and see he was doing things that no other game was doing at the time, like procedural generation, and it was really interesting to kind of see where he would go with it. I remember one of the things that I still kind of cringe about right now is he would ask the community in the YouTube comments for advice on certain things, and he made the character's hand a pickaxe, so that way when they were mining blocks, they would swing this pickaxe around. And he said, "Do you guys like that, or do you like the little blocky arm?" And he would compare them, and I said in the comments, I said, "Hey, Nacho, your game looks great so far, but I don't like the blocky arm. I think it looks stupid." And I still kind of like bear to that to this day. I think it does look kind of dumb that you just have one blocky arm sticking out. But it's become like this staple of Minecraft. It's become kind of cute. And you know, you can get a pickaxe in your hand or a sword or a whatever. So just depending on like the survival item aspect, it's that blocky appendage is not your arm all the time. I just think about this guy, you know, we didn't know at that time that he would end up making one of the most successful games and become a billionaire, and he'd kind of go off the deep end on a few things and sell the company. But here's a guy who was really trying to make something that, you know, hadn't been made before, and I was an original hater at age 13 or whatever. So I thought that was interesting. I got to see the development. There were places that the game developed that I didn't quite agree with, but there were a lot of places that I thought definitely exceeded my own imagination for what the game could be. And obviously it became such a cult, not even a cult classic, a cult phenomenon over the whole dang world. One of the most popular games of all time. And I don't have the exact stats on that, but we know it's true. Regardless, I have more stories from ancient Minecraft. I remember when multiplayer first came out, it was a really big deal. We didn't have as many blocks as before, it was only creative mode, and the world wasn't infinite. There was only a certain amount of space that you had to kind of share with a certain server size of people. Obviously, it was very laggy in a lot of servers, but some servers did manage to figure it out. Remember that I got a compliment because I was able to make a skin, which you could do even back then, very early in development. I made a little Grim Reaper skin which had a mask on, and it was like a different layer, so the eyes were able to kind of shine through, so it had this blue glowing eyes that shone through this mask. It was very cool. And I kind of look back on that as like a moment of shining creativity from my youth. Created something of value that I didn't know that I'd be able to put together. And of course, you know, the building and the creativity that people showed even early on without even having all the blocks and the tools. It's really astounding, you know. When you saw early Minecraft servers, you knew that Notch was onto something with the development of this game. I guess the last thing that happened in my early Minecraft days, before I started to kind of follow the game more passively, is I was involved on the early forums. There was an area which was for like future suggestions for the game, and I did a little bit of trolling. I had said, wouldn't it be cool if Notch took the game in the direction of being able to capture the mobs, and we could call it like pocket mobs or poke mobs. And I created like these little crafting recipes to make a wooden pokeball, stone pokeball, steel pokeball, and just like all these different abilities. It was very creative in its own right, but it was totally trolling. And I wrote it in a way that I was being dead serious. And all the comments are like, this is the dumbest idea ever. The game should not go in this direction. And it was like a visceral reaction to my suggestion, which was just, it just cracked me up so much. And eventually at the end of the thing, I was like, I think this is really funny. I'm just kidding. You know, me and my friends had a good laugh at this, but in reality, it was just me being a loser. So I look back on that as really funny. I had more wholesome posts on that forum. I wrote a little editorial, I guess, about if Minecraft skills can apply in real life. Like, does the creativity that you show in Minecraft, can that apply to help you train creativity in real life? Or are the twitch reflexes required to do the combat and the bow and arrow, is that like applied to other games and life and things? And it was just kind of like a big hurrah for, look at us, we're gamers, you know, and we have these skills in the game, but they're also good in real life too. And that one was like more positive, I guess. After that, you know, I guess I got what I wanted out of my participation in the internet forum, and that forum got shut down. I tried to find my old posts, and I just couldn't find them. They were lost to time. I even lost my old account. It had like a red cape for being like an early backer, a beta tester, something like that. And gosh, I wonder how much that account would have been worth just monetarily. Have like this limited edition item. It is my biggest shame that I lost that account. But regardless, you know, I did end up catching back up with Minecraft with some friends, like, I guess, like later on in development. You know, we fought the Ender Dragon and we did all this fun stuff. We built a server together. And while I don't think that Minecraft ever went in the exact direction that maybe I would have wanted it to go, I would have wanted it to be more survival, like medieval, crafting tree, MMORPG, whatever. So many mods came out for this game that you could really make Minecraft whatever you wanted, and it was just, I've never seen that before, and I have yet to really see it since, except maybe with like Skyrim modding or something like that. Well, obviously, I have quite the history with Minecraft, dating back to the very, very earliest days that someone could possibly support this game. And just like everybody else, when I saw that they were making a Minecraft movie and I saw that shitty first trailer, I was just like, oh my gosh, I do not have faith that they're going to be able to pull this one off. I put Minecraft movie to the back of my mind for a long period of time, but recently, you know, I've been on TikTok a little bit, and I saw the updated trailer, and you know, the updated trailer did look a lot better. It had a little bit more action and comedy. It wasn't as cringy as the original trailer would leave you think it would be. But I think what really sold me on wanting to see the Minecraft movie is the open release, the early release they did for this young kid who had a degenerative fatal condition, and just how much it seemed to mean for him. And then also Technoblade, if you're familiar, was a Minecrafter who died from terminal cancer, obviously. And they did a little tribute to him too. The TikToks say it best. There's all these TikToks like, oh, perhaps Minecraft movie, I've judged you too harshly. It was kind of a wake-up call, self-realization for me to think that maybe this movie is made for me, but it's not made just for me. It's also for these young kids who also are currently growing up with this game and love this game just as much as I did. I tried to convince my friends to go see the movie with me. We ate dinner about a week or so before, and funny enough, they were talking about their favorite movies, and this movie's a 5 out of 10, this movie's a 10 out of 10. And kind of probing into it, asking, well, you know, what made it a 10 out of 10? Like, why is this movie a 10, but this one's not? There's a funny thing that was brought up to me a while ago. A lot of people would say that Interstellar, for example, is a 10 out of 10 movie. And the question is, okay, well, if you loved Interstellar so much, what was the name of the main character? And people are like, Matthew McConaughey? Murph? Nope, that's not the main character. How is it your favorite movie if you don't even know who the main character is? Which is just to say, like, yeah, when I think of Interstellar, I think, wow, this was like this really profound cinematic movie, but like I can't tell you what it was about. It just entered and left my brain. I felt the same way with Avatar. Avatar didn't have any lasting impact on me. The one with the blue people, not with the airbenders, obviously. So I just feel like this whole like 10 out of 10 scale is just subjective. I have a movie that is a 10 out of 10 for me that's like a silly comedy movie, but like I judge it by that metric. I judge it for what it is. I feel like we judge all of these movies by the same yardstick, and we expect them to be these profound cinematic masterpieces which have a perfect soundtrack, perfect acting, perfect story, and like not every movie's gonna have to be perfect in every one of those categories. So I made a suggestion to my friends, which probably fell on deaf ears, but I managed to convince them to see the movie with me anyway. I said, all right, how about we all go see the Minecraft movie and we recalibrate our scales, so to speak. We go ahead and see if it's a bad movie, if it's a shitter, then boy, okay, I'll make all the other movies seem better and we'll kind of understand why. And if it's a good movie, well, that'll be something interesting as well too. Maybe that'll be informative as well. And regardless, I think they just wanted to see the Minecraft movie for the meme. They might not have had anything better to do, but I convinced them, and now we had 4 homies total going to go see the Minecraft movie together on opening night, Thursday. So opening night was April 3rd. You gotta realize that in the US, this is Liberation Day. I have since grown up. I'm not that 13-year-old kid playing video games on the parents' computer anymore. I grew up and I became a physician with a 401k, saving for retirement. A bit of a stuck millennial, just like everybody else. And while I'm watching my investments being completely liberated from my 401k and my will to live also being liberated from my body, I was like, you know what? I need something big right now. I need a dub. I need a Minecraft movie to hit me with just like the most profound life message, which will reinvoke my will for this earth and existence that I live in. And I'm not gonna spoil it, but I feel like there was something in there. I feel like there was something pretty good. I go to the movie theater, and I'm the first one there. The other guys decided to go eat before. I ate at home, but I didn't eat that much, so I was looking to eat at the movie theater. I go ahead and print off the tickets from the kiosk, and I go up to the front, and there's a bit of a concession stand, as you know. And I wanted a large popcorn. Got to get that Sprite with the popcorn so it hits just right. And then also I like to get a hot dog. That's what I usually do when I go to the movies and I'm feeling really fancy. And there's 3 little stands that are open, and there's a woman who seems like to be maybe like 19, 20, something like that, young adult, younger than me, that's for sure, with like piercings and makeup, and she looked pretty cool and goth, I guess. and her little kiosk was open, but I didn't know if I was able to go up there, and I was feeling kind of awkward. I kind of wave at her, and she looks at me like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'll come over." So I walk over there, and I say, "Hey, can I get a popcorn and a hot dog?" And then she cuts me off, and she says, "Oh, the hot dog is on the metal thing over there." And so we were in this like kind of maze-like line that goes back and forth, and there's like this like concessions kind of on the way, like it's Bloons Tower Defense. And I say, okay. I said, well, I'll be right back, and I go rush over, and then there's people in line, and I'm like, oh, you can go on ahead of me. And I'm looking through this stand, and I'm not seeing any. I'm seeing like pizza, but I'm not seeing any hot dogs or anything like that. And then those poor people I told to go on ahead, they go on ahead, and then she sends them back, and it was like super embarrassing. Like, why did I tell them to go on ahead? It didn't take that long. But I go up to her and I'm just like, ma'am, I'm sorry I couldn't find any hot dogs. And she's like, oh, okay, I guess they're probably out. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess so. I said, you know what, it's fine. I'm not that hungry. I'll just get a popcorn and a drink. So I got the popcorn and the drink. And then as she's like ringing me up, I see these hot dogs spinning in the back behind her, getting cooked. And I'm like remembering the last time I ordered a hot dog, and I didn't have to pick it up off the thing. Like, they just got it for me. I'm like, what the heck, But I'm like, what, these young people working on a Thursday on Liberation Day as their country's like being disintegrated in front of them, they just don't have this excitement for customer service. What the heck is the deal with that? But my self-awareness as a awkward adult, I guess, I just felt really embarrassed, and the cringe kind of went with me. Like, man, come on, I'm like a millennial age, like late 20, early 30 kind of guy, and I'm going to go see the Minecraft movie. I just had this shame. I had this shame going into that movie theater. But eventually I see my friends, and, we go in, we see some of the crappiest previews I've ever seen, the least inspiring previews. It seems like everything on out of Hollywood is just some kind of regurgitated, like, product nowadays. Like, there's no original things. Like, we saw, like, How to Train Your Dragon is getting a remake. We saw all this, just, there wasn't, like, an original property, or if there was, it didn't, like, make me feel inspired, I wasn't feeling good going into this movie, so to speak. So you can imagine the scene is set, I'm a sad millennial with his millennial friends, on one of the worst days of the US history, and I'm just looking for a win in probably the worst place of all time. The movie theater, by the way, was about at 1/8 capacity, which shows you on opening night, which shows you the enthusiasm. There was only like a handful of other groups that were there to see this movie. The thing that kept ringing in my mind is a review. I try not to spoil myself too much, but I did see one review for the Minecraft movie that compared it to an 101-minute lobotomy, and that just cracked me up. And at that point, I told the guys that, I was like, they say this movie's like a lobotomy, and then we're all just like, yeah, we could use a lobotomy right now. Get me. So, the movie theater goes dark, everyone's hushed and quiet. And then Jack Black just comes in and steals the show. He reignites the spark that was lost in my heart. I'm gonna give some slight spoilers for this movie moving forward. I'm just gonna talk about kind of the plot lines and the things that I thought were interesting. I don't think that it's gonna take away from your appreciation of the movie. I'm not gonna spoil anything profound. And to be fair, it's not really that deep, but if that bothers you, then I encourage you to come back later. Essentially, Minecraft Steve is Jack Black, and as a child, he always yearned for the mines. He had a spark of creativity within him that he was always trying to explore and adventure. But then he grew up and he became a sad adult just like me, working for a doorknob factory until one day he realized that nothing was really holding him back. And he went back to that mine and found his way through to the Minecraft world via use of a magic relic. The other interesting characters in this movie is Jason Momoa's character, who also tries to steal the show a little bit, but I think he's slightly overshadowed by Jack Black. He plays his character is called the Garbage Man, and he's like 80s rock, masculine, buff guy, but he's got a bit of a belly. You can tell he's kind of losing his shape just a little bit. He used to be like a pro arcade console player, and that was like his legacy. But his legacy is long gone. Like the 80s were, what, 30 years ago? Holy snap. And this man is just half-past done, and he's getting evicted from his arcade shop. He's having to do a lot of like gigs, like selling masculinity courses to young people and teaching people how to be successful, which is like selling courses, which is really funny because that's exactly what you see online all the time. People showing you that the selling a course on teaching people how to sell courses and things like that. Regardless, he was a bit of a loser character who was losing his reins on life. And then there's a brother and sister, and the sister's very young, but having to take care of the little brother who their mother died. And I was like, wow, that's kind of deep that's kind of heavy for a Minecraft movie, don't you think? But it certainly didn't last very long. And then next up, there's another lady character who has to run all these gigs. Like she runs a petting zoo and has like 15 jobs just to make ends meet. But we'd really like to just focus on one thing, which I think is related to the animals, and she like rents them the house somehow. I'm not really quite sure how that works, but anyway, the young kid ends up getting bullied at school because he's got creativity and no one else seems to appreciate it. The thing about this movie is that a common theme that I kind of appreciate, not the deepest thing in the world, but this idea that it is difficult to be creative, and being creative opens you up to criticism from other people who don't understand your vision. And even in the moment, you may not understand your vision because it's not done. A lot of creativity is just this intuitive, off-the-cuff thing that you do moment by moment. You're not trying, you don't have it all figured out in the moment. It's like exploration, it's adventure. This kid is very smart. He makes like a jetpack, and the jetpack ends up doing collateral damage to a potato chip factory and destroying the town's mascot, Regardless, long story short, they all get isekai'd into the Minecraft world, and they're rescued by Minecraft Steve after it goes dark on that first night, and the zombies attack. Minecraft Steve has to fight the villain force in this movie are the piglins from the Nether. The Nether. And they made an original character who's like this pig witch who hates creativity because her backstory is literally that she liked dancing, but then her dad was mean to her about it and told her that the only thing that matters is gold and riches, which is like, hey, I see you, Minecraft movie. Good analogy. That's exactly where I'm at in my life right now. I've also lost touch with my creative spark, and I've been focusing on building my 401k, which is burning in front of me, by the way. But yeah, she becomes like this like very self-obsessed, greedy character who brings all the other piglins together to try and like steal all the gold, and it's just never enough. It's this insatiable greed, and they don't know how to create. They can only destroy and pillage and things like that. So, Minecraft Steve, Jack Black loses his dog. In order to get him back, he has to kind of play both sides and like go help the people to get the magic relic, the MacGuffin. But you can tell he's a good guy underneath it, and the movie kind of goes how you expect. I mean, they go on an adventure, they have an epic battle. Highlights of this A to B thing for me, there is a scene where they have to use the elytra wings in order to fly, and they only have two of them, so the kid gets one, and then Jack Black and Jason Momoa literally have to 69 mid-air. They call it a man sandwich, in order to make it through a small crevasse, and make it to safety. I'm just like, for a kids movie, they were very bold. I think that was one of my favorite things I've ever I've seen in recent memory. It was so stupid. I was like, oh yeah, I can feel the lobotomy. I can feel the voices going quiet in my brain as I'm watching this unfold, you know? Goodness gracious, it was ridiculous. Regardless, you know, I can't even remember the exact plot, but there's a bit of a like a small betrayal from Jason Momoa's character where he values the diamonds. They have to do a little detour, which is kind of dangerous, in order to go to Steve's mine and collect diamonds. So Jason Momoa's character can battle his poverty, and it makes him lose trust in the younger character who, you know, basically looked up to him like a mentor. Which is like, yeah, Minecraft movie, that's kind of real, you know? I mean, I'm that sad adult now that would probably go for the diamonds if I got isekai too. Hopefully not. Regardless, like, Jason Momoa has like this final stand, you know, he sacrifices himself, they fight the chicken Jackie, and eventually, like, his character basically exits the story for a little bit. At that point, they have this this grand battle, you know, like the piglins are coming through this giant nether portal, which is powered by the ancient relic. They're about to invade and take everything from this place. And you know, they get creative. I mean, Jack Black says the thing. He's like, okay, first we mine, and then we craft. We Minecraft. And it's like, whoa, he said the thing, whoa. It was sick. You'd have to be there. Maybe you should watch the movie and you can be there too. But regardless, they get really creative. They create an army of iron golems. You know, like, they must be playing with mods or something, because like they put like boots of swiftness on one iron golem to create like the commander, and he can kind of fly and be really fast or something like that. And they just like set him up as the piglins are kind of marching out. And something interesting is that, you know, in the lore of the game, one of the things I respect a lot is that this movie really understands like mechanics of the game, and so like the game logic is still intact even though it's like a silly movie. The iron golems, it is noted that the iron golems cannot attack unless they are provoked, unless they are bumped or hit or something like that. I think her name's Lady Mangosha, the piglin witch, says, oh, you know, we know that those can't attack unless we provoke them first. And then some piglin just can't help himself and he shoots an arrow, which is like a sign that like the violence of their nature is insatiable. And you know, the villagers and the main characters are justified in their fighting back, you know, like they were always justified to fight back against this invasion. Anyway, I know that's probably not the deepest thing in the world, but I just thought it was like, it felt like a plot contrivance, you know, like if the enemy villains were more intelligent, like the battle couldn't even happen or it wouldn't happen the same way. But I don't know, I just like how it shook down, you know. Anyway, they have a big epic battle. There's certainly more action in this movie than creativity and problem solving, to be honest, but they have their big battle. Steve puts on the diamond armor and he's all kitted out, and then eventually, you know, they win. They battle. Oh, Jason Momoa comes back, right? Like he sails down and he saves the day in his own way, as if we couldn't expect that. If they die off screen, they didn't die, people. But long story short, you know, they save the Minecraft world, and then they get to go back. And there's a very like heart-wrenching moment where they ask Steve, they say, Steve, do you want to come back with us to the human world? And he says, No, I still got things I want to build here. I don't know. You can tell that he's afraid. He's afraid of the real world, which he ran away from so long ago. But eventually, after they walk through the portal, Steve's standing there and he says, "You know what? It's time. I'm ready. We can mine and craft the real world too. we can be creative in the real world as well." And he comes back and he becomes Jason Momoa's BFF. Jason Momoa, who's this toxic masculine character, you know, who softens up throughout the movie. You realize that he just needed a friend. The cure to toxic masculinity and the male loneliness epidemic is for all these men to just be bros with each other. And me and my 3 other bros, as we just sat there in the Minecraft movie laughing and having a good time, I was like, yeah, man, there's something special here. Like, we're not done. We still got work to do. We gotta mine, we gotta craft, but we got each other. And a tear came to my eye. No one saw it, though, because the movie theater was pretty dark. Regardless, there's a nice little epilogue in the movie where you get to see what everybody did. You know, Jack Black and Jason Momoa like open up the store again. Like the big sister character who has a talent for violence and combat actually creates a self-defense class. The young kid basically creates a new video game. He becomes a game developer. It's like very good Minecraft, very good. And then the lady character, older lady character, she ends up opening up that petting zoo, and she's really good at it. So she found her talent and her creativity too. And then the movie, I feel like in every movie there is a point where the movie just tells you straight up what it's about and what the point is. And if you're not paying attention, if you blink, you will miss it. There is a point in Steve's like ending speech where he says it is more difficult to create than it is to destroy. And he doesn't say it exactly with these words, but when you create something, you are at risk of it eventually being destroyed one day. You are at risk of people laughing at you and making fun of you, people not seeing your vision, people who just aren't going to support you and may in fact get in your way while you are struggling with the project and your own self-doubt. And that's okay, because there's nothing more worthwhile in this world that gives more vitality and zest to the human spirit than adventure, exploration, and creativity. And even though it was just a silly movie that reviewers are gonna tear to shreds, that was the message that I needed to hear as a sad millennial VTuber, young physician, just a guy. So thank you, Minecraft movie. That was my dub. That was the dub that I needed. And thank you all too for sitting with me, if you sat with me this far to listen to my not just my review of the Minecraft movie, but I guess my awkward, strange story leading up to it, spanning multiple decades. I just feel like overall, if I could just sum up my thoughts, that the Minecraft movie was in good hands. A lot of people are not going to like this movie because they felt like it was too silly, or they wanted something that was more like lore accurate with less human characters. But I really liked the Minecraft movie for what it was. I'm glad that it was silly and didn't take itself very seriously, because if its central message is that we need to get out of our own way and put aside our shame to just allow ourselves to be creative, then they picked the exact right guy to do it with Jack Black, you know, who his overacting is just so memeable, turned into all these TikTok sound clips, you know, like any other actor would, if they said those lines that he was saying in such a stupid way would just like make your heart implode on itself. But when Jack Black does it, you can tell that he's just having like the funnest time and that he really loves what he's doing. I think that's the ultimate lesson that I got from the movie. People are going to give this movie like 5 out of 10 or less or whatever because they felt like it didn't spoon feed them any meaning. But where it came down to it, where it mattered, you know, I had enough background with this movie. I was able to reflect on it enough that I created my own meaning. And that's why, on my totally subjective scale, but accurate to me, we're giving the Minecraft movie a 10 out of 10 blocks. So thank you so much. If you needed a arbitrary score, let it go down in history that Minecraft was a 10 out of 10. And I look forward to Minecraft 2, maybe even Minecraft 3, who knows? We'll see, all right? Anyway, y'all, have a great one, and stay creative. Bye then.